Picture this. You're cruising along a picturesque stretch of highway in the stunning landscapes of New Zealand's South Island, only to be abruptly halted by towering flames and billowing smoke, all whipped up by relentless winds and blistering temperatures. It's a heart-pounding scenario that's unfolding right now in Otago and Southland, where brave firefighting crews are on the front lines battling a series of intense vegetation fires. But here's where it gets worrisome. These aren't isolated incidents. They're part of a larger pattern of wildfires that could be influenced by everything from natural weather conditions to human actions. Stick around because we're diving into the details, and trust me, there's a twist that might surprise you. Let's start with the big news. A raging vegetation fire? That's right. A blaze consuming dry grasses, shrubs, and trees has forced the closure of State Highway 96 near Mataura in Southland. According to the New Zealand Transport Agency, Waka Kotahi, this shutdown impacts the road between the junctions of State Highway 1 and Waimumu Road. For those new to this, vegetation fires happen when flammable plant material ignites, often exacerbated by dry conditions, and they can spread rapidly in open areas like farms or forests. Fire and Emergency New Zealand, FENZ, the organization responsible for managing such emergencies across the country, reports that this closure is just one piece of a broader firefighting effort amid gusty winds and soaring mercury levels in the region. If you're unfamiliar with FENZ, think of them as New Zealand's dedicated fire service, equipped to handle everything from house fires to large-scale wildfires, working tirelessly to protect communities and infrastructure. And this is the part most people miss. It's not just one fire causing chaos. FENZ officials in Southland have confirmed that teams are actively combating 3 additional vegetation fires in the area. These are located at Dacre-Morton Mains, Makarewa, and Greenhills, where crews are deploying hoses, water tanks, and other firefighting tools to contain the flames. Earlier in the day, attention shifted slightly north to South Otago, where multiple response teams were summoned to tackle a paddock fire. This one erupted around 1 p.m., roughly 200 meters north of Johnston Road and just 1 kilometer from Balclutha. Eyewitnesses described the scene as a fiery inferno fueled by oppressive heat and ferocious winds, making it a challenging environment for firefighters. To give you a sense of the scale, helicopters joined the ground crew, scooping up water from a nearby river to douse the blaze, a common tactic in rural firefighting to access large volumes of water quickly. By shortly before 2 p.m., FENZ updated that the fire had grown to about 150 meters by 50 meters, though it continued to expand afterward. From a vantage point on a nearby hill, a witness observed what might be the fire's origin. A pile of dead wood, likely gathered after recent storms that battered the area with heavy rains and flooding. As the wind carried a massive plume of smoke southward, it occasionally blanketed the landscape, adding to the drama. Responding swiftly, 2 pumps and 1 support vehicle raced out from the Balclutha Volunteer Fire Brigade around 1 p.m., with additional help from crews in Clutha Valley and Dunedin. This kind of rapid mobilization showcases the spirit of community volunteerism in New Zealand, where local brigades often lead the charge before national resources arrive. But wait, here's where things take a controversial turn. Moving further north, another fire broke out around 2:35 p.m. in pine trees near Goodwood, close to Palmerston. FENZ reported 6 fire trucks on site, with more en route, plus 3 helicopters assisting. Pine tree fires can be particularly tricky because the trees are highly flammable, especially in dry spells, and they might spark debates about land use or forestry management. Is this a sign of climate change making such events more frequent? Or could it be linked to how we handle logging and forest maintenance? And don't get me started on the earlier incident in Papakaio, within the Waitaki district, where a paddock fire was sparked by a trampoline being blown into power lines. Reported around 2:40 p.m., for crews are fighting this one. Imagine that, a simple backyard item turning into an accidental arsonist. This raises questions about personal responsibility. Should homeowners secure their outdoor items better to prevent such mishaps? Or is it up to authorities to warn about wind risks? Some might argue these are freak accidents, while others see them as avoidable errors in an increasingly unpredictable environment. Adding a layer of irony to the chaos, there's also the story of a Dunedin fire truck that broke down en route to a job, even blocking the motorway temporarily. In a time of crisis, Equipment failure can feel like the last straw, prompting discussions about funding for emergency services or the maintenance of aging vehicles. Do you think New Zealand's firefighting resources are up to the task in the face of rising wildfire threats? Or should there be more investment in prevention and technology? This situation highlights the complexities of emergency response. It's not just about putting out fires, but also about preparedness and public awareness. As we wrap this up, it's clear that Otago and Southland are facing a fiery challenge that's testing the limits of human and technological intervention. For beginners wondering about wildfires, remember they're often triggered by a mix of weather, ignition sources, and terrain, and understanding them can help prevent future ones. But what do you think? Are these fires a wake-up call for better environmental policies? Or is there a simpler solution we're overlooking? Share your opinions in the comments below. Do you agree that human factors play a bigger role than nature? Or perhaps you've got your own story from a similar event. Let's discuss. Your thoughts could spark valuable insights for everyone.